Time to finish off talking about the absolute Holy Trinity, and we're ending it with the last son of Krypton, absolute Superman, which has been gradually getting better. I called the last case 36, but it was actually 35. Filing mistake. We fixed it in the archives, but my name is Detective Hemmings. Codename Paperwork. I am the literary detective. Welcome to case 36. Is absolute Superman good? I have done absolute Batman and absolute Wonder Woman already, and to complete the Holy Trinity, it only feels right to do Superman next. I do want to do Martian Manhunter, and then I'm probably going to chill for a little bit and let it play out and see how things happen. Now, if something insane goes down, I might just comment on that specific issue or that specific event. However, just in case this is somebody's first time seeing one of my absolute videos, I do still have to go through the same ordeal and same spiel, so I'm going to kind of be repeating myself. It is what it is. So Absolute Superman is a reimagined version of the Man of Steel from DC Comics' Absolute Universe, a line launched I think in late 2024 and early 2025. This universe, created by Darkseid's Energy, the Absolute Power event, features underdog versions of classic heroes who lack the institutional support and traditional foundations of their main universe counterparts. In this iteration, I believe it's written by Jason Aaron with the art by Rafa Sandoval, the character is significantly different from the traditional Clark Kent. Here are some of the key differences: the origin, life on Earth, the look, powers, and temperament, I would say. Unlike the classic version where Kal-El is sent to Earth by scientists' parents with a message of hope, this Superman is the son of Lara and Jor-El, a scientist and revolutionary laborer. The way that the Krypton hierarchy works is a little different, but I'll come back to that. He's a refugee from Krypton that was a harsh, stratified society. Life on Earth was different. He didn't grow up in Smallville with the Kents. Instead, he's more of a wanderer and does a lot of labor, moving from place to place. For a very long time, and even somewhat right now, he lacked and lacks a secret identity in the traditional sense. He is a man without a home or a country. The look is different, right? He is often depicted as more rugged with longer hair and a more utilitarian alien looking suit. His physique is massive, reflecting his life of physical toil. His powers, while similar, kind of act differently, and he hasn't been trained the same way that he was trained to use restraint, and thus his personality and how he uses his powers is a little bit different. However, I gotta say this just because I think it's super funny. His cape and Batman's cape, yo, they're going M for M, band for band with these capes, bro. They're aura farming like crazy with their capes, and I think it's super fly, pun intended. So like I said earlier, the Absolute Universe, which also includes Absolute Green Lantern and Absolute Flash, is designed to be a hard mode for the Justice League. Without their traditional advantages, these heroes have to rely on their own grit entirely. The Absolute Superman run sparked a lot of discussion because it intentionally deconstructs the God amongst men trope. By stripping away the safety nets of the Kent farm and the Daily Planet, the story forces Kal-El to be a hero through sheer want and will rather than moral inheritance. The traditional Superman is often criticized for being too perfect because he was raised by the world's best parents in a stable environment. So let's talk about some differences in the appeal. Absolute Superman is a true refugee. He did not have the Kents to guide his moral compass or ethical code, or have a comfortable home to retreat to and learn these life lessons. It's not that he didn't learn a lot of good things from Lara and Jor-El, but you know what I mean. The appeal here is that it makes his heroism, in my honest opinion, more impressive. He isn't good because he was taught to be, he is good because he chooses to be. Despite a life of isolation and manual labor, it turns him into a proletarian hero, a man of the people's champ, somebody who actually lives amongst them. He has to actually deal with the weight of Krypton on him. In the main mythos, Krypton is often a distant, crystalline utopia. This is refreshing and impactful because in the absolute universe, Krypton's politics and class struggles are front and center. His parents, Jor-El and Lara, are reimagined as revolutionaries. They had the intellect and the ability to be a part of the higher society, the Science Guild, but because they spoke out politically against some of the corruption, they were forced to be in the Laborers Guild. The Laborers Guild wears the traditional House of El symbol, while the other symbol for the higher class is different. I think it's a sun. I can't remember for the time being, but I think it's the sun. This gives Kal-El a more complex burden. He isn't just preserving a dead culture, he is carrying the weight of a failed revolution, which fuels his desire to protect the underdogs on Earth, the regular people. If my calculations are correct, and boy, let me tell you, I can't add. I think he was on Krypton for about 13 or 14 years instead of being sent as just a baby. So he has memories of people, events, locations, environments, animals, and things of that nature on Krypton, and has to take that to Earth instead of having no memories of it and only knowing Earth as his home. So I think that's a very distinct change that I'm enjoying seeing. It gives him a little bit of that Supergirl, that Kara Zor-El, because remember, she was about 16 when she got sent on a ship to kind of protect Kal-El on Earth, but got derailed. The raw and visceral artwork is really dope. I think Rafa's style is a massive departure from the clean-cut big blue Boy Scout aesthetic of artists like Dan Jurgens or Gary Frank. The aesthetic, so for me, what I like about a lot of these heroes is that they're massive. His physique is built from labor, not just solar radiation. He has longer, unkempt hair and a suit that looks like salvaged Kryptonian tech rather than spandex. The panel is aggressive and kinetic. When he hits something, the environmental destruction feels heavy and consequential. It reflects a version of Clark who hasn't quite mastered the gentle giant restraint yet. He also does not have his father's AI, but he has one called Soul. It's like this dust from Krypton that can shape and reshape itself and kind of protect Kal, but it's not really his father or even an AI version of it. However, something does happen later on, but it's a really cool cape. I didn't like it at first, but it got very dope later on. And just kind of subverting the mythos, right? Several pillars of the Superman lore have been shifted to keep the readers on their toes, so no secret identity really. This is one of the problems I have. I'm gonna get into it in a second. So without the Clark Kent persona at the Daily Planet, he loses his social anchor. This makes him a loner, closer to the golden age social crusader roots of the 1930s. No Fortress of Solitude, though it looks like one is kind of starting to be built or created in his farm. And he has aggressive compassion. He isn't just a savior, he is a disruptor. He doesn't wait for permission to intervene. He just does things when he thinks it's right. I think one of the changes they should have been very comfortable with is not having him have a Kent persona, or at the very least, not Clark Kent. I think his name should have been Kal, or KAL Kent, in this version of Absolute Superman. Now, I hate being the guy who's like, well, I had this idea and I thought it made sense, and thus, since it didn't happen, I'm going to dock marks from the creative team. That's my own expectation, so it's not a fair critique, more of a nitpick, but I do think we're starting to retread old steps a little too beat by beat. Like even Lois Lane kind of now falling in love with being a journalist, and Lois Lane on top of that falling in love with Clark Kent. It's like, let's try something a little different, you know? So traditional Superman has the upbringing of the Kents. His motivation is having a really strong moral upbringing. Social status here is a respected reporter, and his combat style is restrained and precise. With Absolute Superman, his upbringing is being a wanderer, a laborer. His motivations are personal experience with oppression. His social status, undocumented refugee, and his combat style is raw, brutal, and powerful. This version of Superman feels like a response to the modern world, a hero for those who feel the system is rigged. It's less about being a symbol in the sky and more about being a force on the ground. I think Absolute Superman is honestly getting better. For a while, I thought it was one of the weaker Absolute runs. I think it has so much potential and latent talent to be amongst the best of the Absolute universe, but we'll see how things shake out. I do think having Ra's al Ghul being one of his villains was interesting. I like that. That was a dope change. I think Black Adam is coming soon, And right now he's dealing with some stuff with Parasite and Hawkman. So we'll see how all of these things play out in the end, but I'm enjoying it. It's really good. I just don't really like Absolute Flash right now. That's the only one I'm not enjoying. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the Absolute Universe, Absolute Superman. Which Absolute run is your favorite? Which ones that are upcoming are you excited for? And why is it Green Arrow? Because Dinah is coming, Black Canary is running. All right, I'm done. Sorry. All right, be safe. I'm out of here. Like the video. I think Absolute Superman has the potential to do something really different and special. It's trending in the right direction for the most part, but I think it needs to be more willing to do something different to succeed. Case closed. Thanks for watching. Be safe, y'all. But even if you're not, Absolute Superman will save the day.